Hey, what's up, Razzball? Nick here. It is Wednesday, June 3rd, I think. Do the dates really matter? I don't think so. It's not Wednesday. What am I talking about? It's Tuesday. Man, I hope I didn't put that on the hot sheet. Whatever. Anyway, it is Tuesday, so we got Sky and Guru on today, which is always very exciting here at Razzball headquarters. I don't know if this is officially the headquarters, but it is what it is. A couple quick notes before we get to Sky and his very scary-looking face. I don't know. I was going to talk about something, and then on the side here, I got, let's just go right to Sky. Sky. Man.
Nick.
You know what? I think this high-definition camera, and this is a lot of light on your face, and I'm not going to lie. I'm a little freaked out looking at you.
Well, I even added to wear white just to completely blanch myself out. That's the best part.
You kind of look like... oh, man, I'm not even going to say it. It's an interesting look.
You say Steve Buscemi, I'm going to smack you.
No, you don't look like Steve Buscemi. You look maybe like his half-brother, Yorgos Buscemi.
We actually watched the 30 for 30, my wife and I, of Vladi Divac, about him and Petrovic. And I looked at her, and I was like, I would just blend in right there. She's like, you're right. I'm like, I wonder if I'm Vladi's kid. Like, I wonder if he came through the Northwest area and,
Yeah, well, they did play a lot of playoff games against Portland when he was with the Lakers.
Yeah. And I'm sure they traveled through the Seattle area.
And he's old enough, because you're like 47, 48, right?
Well, he at least looks about 60, but
No,
yeah.
you, I said.
Oh, me. But I listen to him and he talks like this, and I think I can do that. I think I can talk really well.
Yeah, you could be, Greek or I won't say Italian, Maltese maybe, former Yugoslavia, maybe from Crete.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Turkish though. Somewhere kind of between, very Adriatic-ish. All right, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's the geography lesson for the day, people. Anthropology, geography. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
What's up?
We got a killer big announcement next Monday, so you better tune in. It's going to be one of the grand prizes for the 32 and 32 and 32 and 32 and 32 and 32 tour. Big.
I got lost.
Big tour. It's going to be very exciting.
Huge.
Huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Hey, did I tell you we've locked up some more bars? We're just locking these bad boys up here, guys. So we're going to have all that information out real soon. You can get your tickets, of course, razzballradio.com. The big banner at the top. Right there. Razzball Tour. You don't want to miss it because it's going to be wicked. So.
I'm looking forward to it myself.
Hey, I like taking your money at DraftKings every day. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's why I refuse to play you anymore head-to-head. I figured I'd go find some more minnows. You've become a big fish at the DK pond.
Let me tell you, I'm getting pretty good doing this whole hot sheet thing. If you just want to get good at daily fantasy at DraftKings.com, just listen to the hot sheet. It's that simple. Yeah. I do the work for you, people. I don't even ask, for some juice or some, some vig on that. I do it because I love you. I love you, people.
The bigger thing to do is to not listen to the next 15 minutes with me as I talk about DraftKings, because I have been in the cold streak. So anything I say, you should probably avoid listening to.
Well, people are definitely not looking at you. I'll tell you that. So, but we're hoping they listen.
Big. I got the nice camera. I got the lighting. I'm here.
Yeah. we're gonna get kicked off television on the web. Why don't you have some coffee?
Okay, a little bit more.
I think we need a mug company to sponsor us. Okay. Let's talk a little daily fantasy. So today, it was an interesting day, actually. Where's my notes? Oh, I have them right here. So there was a couple guys today that I thought were interesting, particularly on the mound. Because yesterday, I said in the hot sheet, if you had Stones, you might want to roll with Danny Duffy versus the Cards. And it would take Stones to roll with Duffy yesterday, but he came through. Yeah. I would say it might take less Stones today, but an interesting play. He's a little expensive on DraftKings, but Jaime Garcia is definitely an interesting play today. What are your thoughts on Jaime?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you on Jaime there. Since he returned from injury, 19K and 19 and two-thirds innings pitched.
That's not good. That's not going to maintain though. He's not a K'er.
No, he's not a K, and he's actually not facing a team that Ks a lot, but he is facing the Royals, which is one of the worst offensive teams against left. Well, overall actually, but against lefties especially, they really
You're
struggle.
saying Moose Tacos isn't a good hitter?
Moose stuck. Well, I can't. I shouldn't say that last word on
Yeah.
air, but yeah, we are a family-friendly TV on the radio show.
On the
But
internet via Skype.
uh, but yeah, I do think he could easily go 7, strikeout 5, and keep the hits and the runs to a minimum. So he's definitely on one of my go-to aces, quote unquote, on a day where there really aren't that many aces on the mound.
All right,
15
wait,
games late.
hold on. You're telling me Erasmus Ramirez isn't an ace? What have you been living under a rock?
He's an ace in the hole for stacks. How about that? Yeah, stack
Ooh.
again.
Okay, we'll get to stacks in a minute.
Yeah.
Let's continue on here with some other starting pitchers today that are interesting. One guy who's been pitching well. We've been kind of waiting on him.
Hmm?
Oh, you know what? I know who you remind me of. Andy
Hmm.
Pettit.
Andy Pettit?
Yeah, there you go.
Nice. I'll take it.
Homer Bailey.
I had a badonkadonk though.
You had a
Homer Bailey,
badonkadonk? What did you say?
kind of a wide set kind of guy. Like he had a firm base, Nick. That's the best way to put it. A very firm base. Um, great for pitching. Uh, yeah, not so much.
Let's
for
talk
my
about
life.
Homer.
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 Yeah,
Homer
I'm only
Bailey.
interested in Homer Bailey for GPPs. I'd avoid him in cash games just because he's been so up and down so far this year. But because of his price at 76, 7,600, I'm definitely jumping in where I feel like I need to take a little risk. And guaranteed price pool attorneys is definitely the way to go with him as your SP2. It's too hard to turn down that price.
Listen, I'm going to kind of disagree with you. I think Homer does this every year. He puts together a really good. Hold on, have your coffee. You tell me when you're ready. Homer strings together a bunch of good starts. He does it every single year. This is not new. So I mean, I don't know. I'm Homer Bailey's one of the guys I'm rolling in my lineup today.
Yeah, in terms of what's available out there, I'm talking in cash games. I think he's higher risk than he needs to be. That's all. Just for
Yeah,
the cash games.
Yeah, but you got to take some risk. No
Not
risk,
in
no
cash games.
reward. No pressure, no diamonds.
Not in cash games. Cash games, if you're going like 50-50 or this pool is small enough, you don't have to fight somebody to get that 35 from Homer Bailey. You can take a 25, 30-ish from a guy like Jaime Garcia.
You know, it's funny because you just lean back in your seat, and now it's like I squished your head. You know, it's like Shh, I squish your head. Come back closer, man.
There we go. Is that better?
Yes, please stay there. Okay. What about Zach Wheeler today?
Yeah, Zach Wheeler just coming off a 9K game, where I believe it was the Phillies. He completely shut them down in Philly, which is a hitter's park. He's probably going to be on a lot of people's radars. With that said, I still do like him, and I also like his opponent on the mound in Jake Arrieta. He's more of a risk play, but over the last 3 games, Wheeler has 21 Ks. Over that same span, Jake has a quiet 18. So he's been striking out a decent amount. He's been a little unlucky with the ERA, but both of them, considering they're facing bad teams on both ends in both K percentages and WOBA, could both have great games.
WOBA, the magic word.
Oh, WOBA.
WOBA.
Gray's rap name, the Big WOBA.
Big WOBA. What about Henderson Alvarez?
Henderson Alvarez is totally, again, no reason to take a risk on him in cash games, but GPP, he's totally a great play. Rays are scuffling on offense, especially away from the trop.
Every day I'm scuffling. Every day. Oh, I shouldn't be scuffling. Rays have been terrible. They made Randy Wolf look like Clayton Kershaw yesterday.
Yeah, I had actually in a few. I've been throwing out in the quarter GPPs. I've been throwing out stacks like crazy, and one of them was my a Rays stack, and it was nowhere. Yeah, Randy Wolf. I think he had 5 Ks, and less than 4 innings
He got me
against.
27. I rolled with him in the 50-50 game last night at DraftKings, and he got me 27 points.
Nice. You're insane.
No, I got stones, brother.
You do. You got stones. Throw those stones in a big old tourney. Could pay off huge. Yeah, no, I like playing against the Rays right now. Henderson Alvarez, his splits home and away are huge, especially on DraftKings. He's averaging about 19.8 points per game at home right now, and away around 10. The Rays, again, one of the lowest teams in Team WOBA right now, and especially on the road, they're bottom five. So take advantage and throw them in there. See what you get.
I understand that a lot of guys want to spend all their money on two studs when you're playing at DraftKings, but I tend to go with one, and then I try and hit on another pitcher. And the reason is that way I can actually fill out a decent lineup. Because otherwise I find it's all Cliff Penningtons and Josh Harrisons, which are great value guys and nice guys to sub in, but
Well, the flip side of that, though, I mean, I think you can overspend. I think the sweet spot usually it depends on what kind of lineup you're trying to build. I mean, we're talking general philosophy here. I think you can get by spending around 18K.
Is that a course at the University of Oregon? DraftKings philosophy?
Well,
Actually, that would make sense for some of the Ducks players. Come here on scholarship. You can get a course in daily fantasy philosophy.
I will be starting those lessons in the fall. No, no. Philosophy wise, if you start tipping, they say around 30% is what you should spend on your pitching. You can spend a little under that and still be fine. But I find if you spend between around 18K, you still have plenty of room to do stacks of teams. Outfield is always full of cheap value plays. It doesn't always have to
like
be
what? What's a typical outfield for you?
A typical outfield for me, as long as I'm not doing a Brewer stack.
Yeah, I did a Brewer stack. Randy Wolf, in spite of the fact that I did a Brewer stack yesterday, helped me get some money yesterday.
Yeah, no, definitely. But in terms of, an outfield, yesterday I had Michael Saunders on pretty much every team, and he was around, I want to say 3,400. He scored 21 points.
Listen, I'll tell you about Michael Saunders, the Colonel's illegitimate third nephew. This guy's been fantastic this year, and every year he does it. He grinds out like an 18-18 season. The average isn't great, but he's hot right now. He's a hot schmatado.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a great bat to ride. But that's what I was saying. Outfield is always a bevy of cheap plays that you can find and fill your roster as needed.
Josh Willingham,
he's still pretty cheap. James Jones is leading off for the Mariners. He's around 34, 35. If he has the right matchup, he's in play. Yesterday, Den Decker, even though I think he only scored 5 points, he was 2,200. That's an easy one play, and he was leading off.
You know what? One of these days, I'm gonna roll a lineup at DraftKings that's just gonna be guys with all the names I love. I'm gonna start Quackenbush and Falou and Den Decker and Davis. Oh, Chris Davis, what a crazy name. Hey, listen, we're gonna break in a minute, and then we're gonna come back and talk about some more lineup stuff. But real quick, what'd you think about John Singleton? Not the director of Boys in the Hood, but Houston first base prospect, who surprisingly, I thought for sure they would have traded him to Seattle or Denver just because of his pot suspension last year. But they signed him to like $1 billion before he even has a major league at bat. ¿Qué pasa, Mexicasa?
Well, that's been the trend of late. I mean, let's face facts. Peds are now, everyone's on them like a hawk. So, in terms of longevity of career, it's going to be very rare that you see those studs past 32 or 3 years old producing late into their careers. That's where a lot of those Peds helped out. They helped in the long
PEDs.
Yes, PEDs. But Jonathan Singleton, signing him to a 5-year, which, if he goes off, that's a cheap way to hold on to him for under 30. They've been doing that. That trend has been all over the place. Evan Longoria here recently. These extensions have been to keep guys until they're around 30.
Okay, Sky, real quick, because we're going to go to break here.
Yeah.
2015, not this year. 2015. What are you projecting for Singleton? Real quick. You got 20 seconds.
2050?
15.
Oh, 15. I could see 20 to 25 home runs, around a 280, 85 average. He's more of an average guy. He could kick up to 290. And the rest of it all depends on the lineup. He'll probably bat, third, maybe fourth.
I don't know. He's very rotund. He should have been a pitcher.
But
All right.
his power.
Sky, we got to go. We have to go. Okay, we'll be back right after this. This segment was brought to you by the Maltese Tourist Bureau. And we're back. Hope you missed us. Okay, so we just talked about John Singleton. You think he's going to be pretty good next year. What about this year? Is he rosterable in mixed leagues, or is he just – because every year there's this prospect hype, and since Oscar Taveras is already a first ballot Hall of Famer, just real quick, and then we'll get back to Daily Fantasy. Are you rostering, my man?
Yeah, of course. Anytime you get a chance at upside, you take it. If you're sitting on...
That's what my wife said when she married me. And now I do this.
And now she knows what the downside is. No, you gotta take upside when and where it's there. So yeah, definitely dive in.
All right, who are some catchers you like today?
Yeah, I always try to punt catcher if I can or if I need to. So Nick Hundley for me is in play.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Texas. He's at 2,500, and he gets Joe Saunders on the mound, who is just he's Joe Saunders. There's not much else you need to say. And then if you want to spend a little up, obviously Wilson Ramos, who's actually still fairly cheap. He's around 3,600. He's slowly been hitting better.
Hey, don't judge the man. You've never waited a table on him.
Not yet. If I keep losing money at DK, I might have to.
It's because you get too statty, right? I mean, look, you absolutely have to weigh the numbers, and that's the reason we do the hot sheet, is so that the data is there for you. But you still got to make some gut calls, And that, I think, too, is I think if you look at Gray and Rudy, okay, the two principles of Razzball, that's the difference in philosophy. Rudy is more pure numbers, where Gray is more, gut call.
He only does that in the Seattle and or Denver area, though.
No, dude. Don't you watch the show? He's vaping.
I know.
What are you talking about?
I was joking.
I was holding it like a vape.
What are you talking about? Sorry, I was trying to do my best Gray impression.
They got to do a
yeah. The guy squeaks. He's like a squeak toy. Him and Ted are like twins.
Ted.
Teddy, the dog.
Oh, Ted. Yeah. We haven't seen Ted on TV yet. Okay. First base.
Yeah, first base. Go big or go home. You got Goldie in Colorado. Jose Abreu, Dan Herron, extreme fly ball pitcher. Don't care where he's hitting it. Jose can hit one out anywhere. Justin Morneau, again, in Colorado. Great plays. If you're looking to save a little money, you've got LaRoche at 4,200 and Lind at 4,100. Both of them have been steady. And Dunn, if he plays, or Steve Pearce, if he plays, they're both good plays in my book. And if you punt first, you're nuts, so don't ask me.
Okay, second base.
Second base, I like Martin Prado. He has a 3.83 WOBA against left-handed pitching.
He's also great in the grinding category. And getting traded for superstar category.
Don't even remind me of that. And then the punt play would have to be Danny Santana of the Minnesota Twins. He's only 2,400. He's available at second and shortstop. He scored 6 points from the 8 spot last night, which isn't that bad if you're going to be punting a position. So, yeah.
Okay. Shortstop.
Shortstop. Swinging past third. Let's see.
I like
Chris
to go,
Owings.
I like to go around the diamond. It makes more sense. I know the numbers don't agree, but whatever.
We've got Chris Owings again. He's in Colorado, and the better side of the plate for him so far this year has been against left-handed pitching. If he doesn't start, Cliff Pennington becomes a punt. He's another 2,500 guy. Xander Bogaerts has become almost an automatic play against lefties, and he gets one today. And that's, he's around 3,800. and he's available at third as well. So he's got a little split usage there if you want to squeeze him in different spots. So
Xanda.
Xanda.
Hey, real quick too, I think one thing to consider is if you are going to punt a category, this is one thing I tend to do, is I'll start, someone who's in a lineup that does really well. So, I'll start maybe DJ LeMahieu or Deontay Navarro from the Jays. If there's a good lineup matchup, you're going to punt anyway. I mean, sometimes if you're lucky to get a single out of the guy, you might get a couple of ribbies with it too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you punt. Punting is all should usually be circled around where you think the most runs are going to be scored. That's why Josh Harrison was a great punt play last night for the Pittsburgh Pirates at third for 2,600. He scored you 13 points.
I play him every day. I mean, he's a regular in my fantasy lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to punt third just because there's so many good players at third in terms of power and pop.
But you got to zig when everyone zags.
Yeah. But if it requires me to do it, I definitely am on.
You are required, sir.
Yeah. But speaking of third,
hey, nice segue. It wasn't really, but nice.
I'm getting the hang of this TV on the radio stuff. So Manny Machado, 3,700. Again, it's Joe Saunders. You can probably tell where one of my stacks is going to be today at this point. Josh Donaldson is in the nosebleed territory at this point at 5,400, along with Miggy at 58. If you have the bones to do it, feel free.
Bones?
But it's going to be hard to roster him, huh?
If you have the bones to do it?
Money, bones, moolah, change. So if you're making it rain, is what I'm saying. I actually like Pedro Alvarez today.
Pedro from Pittsburgh.
I know we've talked about him last week as a guy that we've been trading for. Over the last 7 games, he's 7 for 20 with a home run. So he's hitting over 333 with a home run, and is going to get a nice pitcher to go against tonight. And I do see value in him at 4K.
Okay. I'm with you. Let's talk outfield. And I want to lead with one guy here, Corey Dickerson of the Rockies. Obviously, we talked a lot about the Rockies today. Great matchup. And just the Hittertrons tell me he's a $33 play. And I'm always trying to balance what the Hittertrons telling me versus what Body is telling me. So, I mean, I'm starting Dickerson tonight. That's faux show.
Yeah, as long as he's starting, I'm definitely on him.
But he's up against a right-hander, so he's probably going to go, right?
Yeah, he's probably going to go. Sometimes.
I mean, you know, the Major League managers, the first thing they do in the morning is get up and look at the Hittertron.
They should. I don't know why they don't listen. Yeah, no, I'm definitely on any Rockies bats, so that's a given for me. But in terms of the outfield, there's lots in play for me at the pay up price. Justin Upton at 5,100, Braun at 56, and Carlos Gomez at 52. They'd be hard to fit into a Brewer stack, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion.
By the way, stacking is basically rolling out a whole team against a pitcher. Now the problem with that is that it's high risk, high reward, but so you got to be bang on. But that's better in the big money games, right? So we should specify that.
That's your tourney plays. You don't need to do that. You can pull 2 or 3 players in like a cash game is smart from a game that's expected to hit in 9 or 10 runs. But I wouldn't be stacking. Stacking includes throwing DJ LeMahieu in your lineup just because he's a Colorado Rocky. Not necessarily the smartest thing to do, to stack 6 Rockies to get DJ LeMahieu in your lineup. But yeah, so other outfielders I'm after right now would be George Springer and Cuddy at 4,900. Moss, if he plays, at 4,800. Great park for lefties. The Mariners proved that last night, scoring 10 runs.
Remember, too, over at DraftKings, sorry to interrupt you, but remember over at DraftKings, you can swap your guys in and out up until the games start, okay? So especially if you're talking about Oakland, which does a lot of platoony tunes, that's a great option over at DraftKings.com. By the way, did you sign up at DraftKings yet and enter promo code Razzball to get a first-time deposit match and an entry to the nightly 50-50 contest with guys like me and Sky?
Why you no do this?
For a while, Razzballer, you know do this.
But the other cool thing about DraftKings, and I'm going to pitch a little bit further, is I actually built 7 lineups last night before I wrote up my little notes here, just to see what I could create with the pitchers that I have. You can create lineups well before the games go.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
that's another nice way to get yourself prepped for the day. But back to the outfield, again, Moss at 4,800. Adam Jones, really cheap at 4,200. He hasn't been great, but he gets a lefty, which is what he is
Yeah, Joe Saunders.
done most of his work against today or this year.
You know a
And
guy too. Sorry, I'm
yeah,
trying to make this a conversation versus
me throwing words at you.
Johnny Gomes. Every day is usually a good matchup. He's one of those guys that's just typically or consistently underpriced at DraftKings.
Yeah, he's been a consistent producer. He may run into a home run here and there, and he was actually on my notes because he gets a lefty today. And at 3,200, he's at least scoring you around 4 to 6 points. That doesn't sound great when it's all said and done, but considering how many boom or bust plays you're going to have in your lineup, having a nice steady few points does wonders as long as your pitching is on spot.
Okay.
So, but Cody Ross is also in play because you get a lefty.
Yep.
He hasn't been that great this year, but again, it's Colorado, hard to ignore it. Alfonso Soriano, he could be a good play at 3,500. I'm a little weak on
He's still
him
in
today.
baseball.
Yeah, well, you could say that about a lot of Yankees at this point. I'm pretty sure half of them have subscribed to AARP at this point. The, I don't know what in the world they're thinking there. They're like, well, I'm waiting for Julio Franco to make it back and start at first base this year for him. That's going to be the highlight.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, actually, interesting. Rick Rhoden just opened a 4:30 supper club at in the Bronx, right by the stadium. So the early bird special. Rick Rhoden reference. Remember that? That's the last pitcher I remember ever coming in and DHing.
But I actually just found out last night, and I added it to my notes late. Nelson Cruz, even there was some concern that maybe he busted his hand over the weekend by getting.
No, he's okay. He's okay.
But he's okay. It sounds like he might actually even start. He's another guy that's been great against lefties. I think he's 5,500.
Yeah, but you don't want to spend 5,500 hoping the guy comes back with a dinged fist.
Wait. Late swaps.
Yeah, but no, but still, if he's bruised up. By the way, great punk band from the '70s, the Dinged Fists. But no, man, I don't want a guy with an achy claw up at the plate for me. Not at $5,500. That's why you're losing, Sky.
But in attorney, you're not going to play him because he has a dinged fist, and he goes in there against Joe Saunders. All he needs to do is hit one home run, and he's already cashed for me over the guy that you're rolling with. So he could be a guy that people are off of because of that reason.
You want to get into attorney tonight?
I'm gonna be in some tourneys. I'm actually in the what is that called? Just a second. Let me pull this up. I'll be playing in the special 100K Super Booster tonight. I won a ticket yesterday with my Mariners stack. I had Felix and Matt Garza on the mound, and I had a Mariners stack that included Brad Miller.
You know what? Actually, Felix was like $3,500 overpriced yesterday, so you got lucky there. But Garza was a good value play yesterday.
Yeah, I was actually kind of kicking myself. I knew I should have gone Kershaw, but in the end, it didn't matter. I ended up winning the ticket just because that Mariners offense went off with Zunino and Miller really cashing for me.
Right. Also, too, just so we're clear, I just want to put this on the record on the radio show that's on the TV that's on the internet via Skype. When I talk about me playing, because, seriously, follow the rules when you're playing DraftKings, guys. There's certain states that you're not able to play. We have a Razzball Radio House account, and actually that is run by the other guys who are in other states. When I'm saying I'm making a play, I just make the picks. Not my money, not my winnings, but it is the guys that I say, hey, look, here's who I want, here's who I want, here's who I want. So technically you're not taking my money, but you do get bragging rights over me. So
is the policeman already there with the handcuffs?
No, don't even joke about that. No, but seriously, listen, I always follow local, and local laws, right? So there's a few states where daily fantasy isn't there yet. Although I'll tell you this, they have been to the state house here. They're lobbying to get this put through, and it doesn't have to do with the fact that it's a form of online gaming. It has to do with no purchase necessary. That's the interesting thing. So yeah, absolutely. That's the interesting thing about it. So No, but there's a group here lobbying to get daily fantasy. So when that happens, then you can take my money. For now, you're taking Sky's money. Just so we're clear.
All my money.
You don't have money, man. I can tell because you can't afford razors or hair gel or, eyebrow wax.
I let my hair fall wherever it lands, and sometimes it's amazing, and other times I get a weird little curly cue.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you got like a Superman thing going there.
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, just a little bit of gel. Whoa, is that a big scar there on your head?
Oh yeah, you want to hear that story?
Well, we got about 45 seconds. Can you fit it in, or should we save it for another day?
Save it for another day so that I can talk about some stacks really, really quick.
Okay, go fast.
All right. Obvious stacks. Arizona.
32
Colorado.
seconds.
Duh. Baltimore. Duh. Texans. Duh. Athletics.
Texans? What is this, football?
You told me 45 seconds.
You got 20.
On the mound, the Braves, but I'd be more selective with the bats that I select.
15.
Pirates and Mariners. Those are two surprise picks for today. Floyd against left-handed hitters has been raked upon this so far this year. And
4, 3,
and Twins.
You're stacking the Twins?
Oh yeah, baby.
That's just ridiculous. Sky, thanks for joining us today. We'll be right back with the Guru, who's going to jam or cram. And I want a really good made-up story about that head boo-boo you got there, because last week, Guru talked about his vampire bar experience in New Orleans. So you got to top that. We're out of here. Now, zip it. I'll see you. DraftKings tonight. Play with us. Why not? What else you doing on a Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever night it is? Okay, we're back. We're ready to do some jamming and cramming with the one, the only, the handsomest guy in the Razzball family.
Yeah, I must be the handsomest now. I haven't seen our good friend T-Hole on him for a while.
Well, he's got a nose boo-boo.
Yeah, I heard someone busted up his face.
Yeah, apparently got into a fight in West Seattle. That's the rumor.
Oh, is that what went down?
You're looking good. You're sporting a jacket today. The jacket, the turban. I mean, dude, what are you looking all snazzied up?
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I thought I'd pretty myself up for you today. I mean, last time we were on, we didn't have video.
We didn't? Okay, I don't remember. I don't remember what I had for breakfast. Actually, it's not true. You know what I had for breakfast today? Shrimp and grits. That's what I love about America. People don't judge me for having shrimp and grits for breakfast.
How southern of you, man. Well, it's good to be on the Razzball TV on the radio again.
Yes, I know. That's the joke making its rounds about the Razzball thing on the thing. So, Guru.
Yes.
I love playing Jam and Cram. This, of course, is our buy-sell segment, and our radio DJ, in-house radio DJ, Guru, of course, likes to jam and cram. So, are we spinning the 45s? Let's go right to it. The man they called up yesterday, the Houston Astros, John Singleton. Speaking of jam or cram, how about that Boys in the Hood soundtrack? John Singleton, man, what's the dealio with the 260-pound monster at first base?
I love that these Super 2 prospects are making their way up to the majors.
Tis
now.
The season.
It's about time. I mean, Oswald Garcia is up. Oscar Tavares looks great. Now Singleton has come up with the Astros. He shot up from about 4% owned to, I think he's over 40% now.
Yep.
In about 24 hours, and he definitely deserves your attention. I mean, we can wait and cook up some hot pockets while you guys go at him right now.
Go ahead. We'll just pause the show. Hold on. Okay, done. Go.
And we're back. And the Astros had Singleton and his 14 homers just simmering down there in OKC while their current first base duo of who do they have? Chris Carter and Mark Krause. I mean, they have 12 homers between them. So it's about time Singleton makes his way to the majors. He was the number 82 prospect in all of baseball. He was hitting 267. He had 14 homers, 10 doubles.
I apologize. He was the number 82 prospect? That's it?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that. Okay, sorry.
According to Baseball America.
What do they know?
So he was hitting 267. He had 14 homers, 10 doubles, 43 RBI, and about 240 at-bats. Down there in the minors, he had 2,000 plate appearances, hit 75 homers, 111 doubles. I mean, you may have to temper the expectations a little bit. He's not going to come up and all of a sudden, be Mike Trout or whatever. But think about how George Springer sort of struggled, at first, and look at him now. So I'll be conservative here and say he hits about in the 250s with 15 homers the rest of the way. That is, if he can stay off the weed. So Singleton gets a jam.
All right, good stuff. That's like the 7th Singleton weed reference we've had today. So until he gets traded to Colorado, we'll put those on hold. Poor guy. I mean, that's just gonna follow him around at least till he starts hitting dongs.
Forever.
All right, a player that I dislike as a fantasy owner. That being said, this guy is criminally under-owned, in my opinion, because when I'm scouring the Hittertron, this guy's always up there, and he's always got tons of value at DraftKings. Andre Ethier.
I hate to argue with statistics and such, but remember that time that Ethier hit 30 homers and had 100 RBI?
Yes, in the PED era.
Yeah, good times.
I'm kidding.
2009, those were great years for baseball. Ethier, he seems to have entered the Matt Kemp side of Don Mattingly's doghouse, too. They had a little dust up in the dugout a few days back. Who would have thought that Puig would be the model citizen out there in the Dodgers outfield? Just don't ask the kid to drive. Okay, so the last week, my dinner with Andre is 7 for 27 with a homer, 3 runs, and 4 RBI, and he hit almost 330 in May. He's hot. The problem is he struggles against left-handers, hitting just 235 in his career. My best guess with Ethier is they're kind of showcasing him there in Los Angeles before he ends up traded for, I don't know, maybe they bring back Nick Punto. That's just what the Dodgers need. Maybe not. So when it comes to Ethier, I'm going to say it's still a cram.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I just, he's just so, blah, ugh. What about a guy who's been sitting on the sidelines, unfortunately, because he could be very fantasy relevant, widely available, Kendrys Morales, rumors, him to the Yankees. Now today there's talk maybe him to the Royals. What do you think Mr. Kendrys winds up?
Yeah, moving on into the block even deeper. Kendrys, he's been that odd man out in this free agent class. Nice work there, Darth Boris. Morales, he could be a sneaky pickup. Think about this. 5 years ago, Joe Mauer won the AL MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Now think about who we're talking about. Guess who came in second?
Kendry Morales' ankle.
No, it was Mark Teixeira.
Oh.
But Kendrys was top 5 in MVP in 2009. In about 500 career games, he has 528 hits, where he's in about 286, 90 homers, 300 RBI. He's got pop, and teams in the mix, like you said, the Royals, Rangers, Orioles, Mariners, and the Yankees. And over the last couple of years, Morales has hit 275 with 45 dongs. You think that would fly in the house across the street from the house that Ruth built?
Yes.
Jam.
You know what I like about Morales, too? The guy, he's just a pure hitter. I mean, I know he's had some injury stuff, but he can still get the barrel, through the zone. I actually think if the guy could stay healthy, he could be a 300 hitter with 25, maybe even 30 home run pop. And yesterday, Gray and I were talking. Gray was worried that he's, not actually 30 years old. He might be a couple years older, but
yeah.
I will throw this out. I know a lot of the guys from Latin America have had issues with their birthday. I'm not looking at anyone in particular, Fausto Carmona or whatever. I don't even know what his real name is anymore. But the Cuban guys, I'm Canadian. I've been to Cuba multiple times. They've actually got their kind of documentation together. It'd be a lot more difficult to fake birth certificates out of Cuba. Not that it can't happen. I know it has happened, but I'm a skeptical guy when it comes to this. But I think he might be 30, and there might be a couple years left in that tank. So I am also jamming Kendrys Morales, especially if he's had time to kind of sit on the sidelines and rest up.
Yeah, and if he's 30, I'm 27.
You are, though. That's what your Razzball baseball card says.
Yeah, it does.
All right, let's talk a little Sagnoff. James Jones, not the wide receiver, ex of the Green Bay Packers, who can't hold on to a ball, but James Jones, the Oakland A's speedy outfielder. Actually, James Jones and James Jones, kind of similar type players. He's definitely a Sagnoff. He's getting some at-bats these days. The problem with having anyone on the A's is, I mean, it's a Toonie Tune situation. Is he going to start? Is he going to sit? Is he going to start? Is he going to sit? So give me some news here on Mr. James Jones.
Yeah, we're not talking fantasy football just yet here. Who the hell is this James Jones?
Soon.
Jones, he's the cheap outfielder that's been winning me some cash over at DraftKings this year because his price is so cheap, and he hits leadoff and he's going to give you a few points. The guy's 2% owned right now. He's got plenty of speed and a little pop. In the minors, he had 3 years with at least 24 steals, and he's just 2 years. He's gone from Double-A all the way up to the majors. Like I said, he's hitting leadoff. He hit 293 with 15 runs, 6 steals in 28 games this year. He hasn't hit a homer yet, but there is some pop there. He's had double-digit homers in the minors in the past. So if you're sick of waiting around for Carlos Beltran, or you're a Shane or if you're a Shane Victorino owner, or you just lost AJ Pollock, that one hurt.
Oh, the whitefish. So tasty.
I'm gonna give old JJ James Jones a deep league jam.
Okay, deep league jam. That's fair. What's going on with Victorino, real quick? Just because I know you're so plugged into the Red Sox, what's happening with the Flying Hawaiian?
He hasn't even resumed any running.
Yeah.
Yet. The Red Sox knew what they were getting when they signed Victorino. I think the best case scenario for them, they hope they got a good year and a half out of him, and they got a good year out of him.
All right.
That Red Sox outfield, wow, what a mess there. I mean, Nelson Cruz has more homers than the entire Red Sox outfield combined, so that'll give you a clue of what's happening there in Boston.
Yeah, okay, good point. Hey, you know which pitcher has been one of the top in baseball in the last month, who you wouldn't expect?
Billy Swift.
I was going to say Kent Tekulve. Or Storm
Nice.
Davis. Remember Storm Davis?
Storm Davis, nice.
Phil Hughes
Yeah,
has pitched well for the Twinkies.
I mean, I have not been a believer in Hughes in the past, and I have not been a believer in Hughes this year, and I've resisted the urge to pick him up again and again and again. And now maybe I still have those days of him sucking with the Yankees burned into my brains, but Sunday night he went back to Yankee Stadium, held them to 2 runs and 3 hits in 8 innings.
Yep.
And I believe it was Mark Twain that said there are 3 kinds of lies. There's lies, damn lies, and there's baseball statistics. These stats don't lie. Hughes is 6-1. He has 56 Ks in 69 innings, an ERA of 3.12. The WHIP is at 1.13. His walks per 9 are the lowest in his career. His home run to fly ball rate is at a career low. And for you stat geeks out there, his FIP and his xFIP are both at career lows. So perhaps the regression fairy is coming for a visit, but he's pitched at least 6 innings in 7 of his last starts, has 0 walks and 30 Ks. What in the name of bizarro world is going on here? I can't believe I'm going to say it, but Hughes is a jam.
Wow, interesting. Let me, we got a couple more minutes here, Mr. Guru. Or Sir Guru? Or is it just Guru? The Guru.
The Guru. What do you want to talk about today? You want to talk about my days as the wardrobe guy for the band Driving and Crying? You want to talk about my days following around the Grateful Dead? We could talk about
Did you really follow around the Grateful Dead?
Oh yeah, back in the late 80s. We could talk about my attempts to be a punk rock singer. We could talk about my...
It's Random Topic Tuesday.
Yeah, we could talk about my old job of working at a suicide hotline. We could do another brush.
Hold on. Out of those 5, how many of those are actually true?
All of those are true.
No way.
Yeah. Or we could have another brush with fame. We could talk about the time I played basketball with Eddie Vedder, Flea, and Ice-T.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay, tell me that story. I'm listening.
Okay, it was Lollapalooza. I can't remember which one that was, but it was the Lollapalooza that had the Chili Peppers, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Ministry.
So like 92-ish, let's say.
Yeah, and Body Count with Ice-T.
Body Count.
So it was the radio days, and I had the backstage passes and all that. And you go backstage
Where
at
was this? Boston?
this is it, yeah, at Great Woods back then. And later on, a huge riot broke out, and they tore the fences down, and lit these huge fires. It turned into a real disaster. But early in the day, we go back in the backstage area, and all the guys are playing basketball. There's the guys from Pearl Jam, a couple of Flea was playing, and Ice-T was playing, and Chris Cornell came out of the little pickup game, so they needed a guy, and all of those guys are like 5'4". They're not big men, and I'm 6'4", so they wanted me on their team, so I got to play a little hoops with Eddie Vedder, Flea,
Wow.
and Ice-T. And after the game, I asked Ice-T, so where's the beer tent? And he looks at me and goes, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Are you 6'4"?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, you can't be on the show anymore. I'm the tallest guy here in this Razzball family. That's it. You're off. You're gone. You're done.
We need like a little Razzball basketball team.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. We'd have Sagnoff Mike, all 5'2" of them. We'd
Perfect.
have Gray, who's about 5'1" when he's wearing wedge shoes.
Yeah, Gray. He's like, Gray's all elbows and mustache.
Never mind, he just swings the mustache around.
He'd be our Spud Webb.
Muggsy Bogues. He's the only guy who can make Muggsy Bogues look tall. All right, Guru, listen, really appreciate you jamming and cramming with us. We're going to be back tomorrow on Wednesday. I have no idea who's going to be here tomorrow. We'll figure it out at some point, and we'll let you know. But we do have an MLB draft special on Thursday. And
Cool.
yeah, it's going to be really cool. We're going to have Scotty, the Prospect Whisperer, come on and talk a little. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the not deep league, but dynasty guys to look at. Because some leagues do their drafts right after the MLB draft. So we're going to look at some of those guys. And also we'll kind of recap the 2013 draft, which has some interesting prospects we might see in the not too distant future. So, Guru, thanks for joining us. Razzballers, thanks for joining us. We will talk to you mañana.
Sweet.